To me, being a borderline is about fear. It's about being terrified. It might come across as anger and a whole range of different emotions, but when you really get to the bottom of it, you realize that you are scared. Just like my friend Northy over here, you'll find that the most intense, aggression in animals comes from fear. It's because they're so terrified for their life. They lash out in these really, angry ways to kind of fend people off. It's a defense mechanism. And I'm really struggling with being borderline at the moment, I think the first step in being borderline is learning about your diagnosis, and particularly that the reason you feel the way that you do is because of triggers. Learning what your triggers are, learning why you're triggered and how you're triggered is a vital part in your treatment. And I guess then learning what to do sort of once you are triggered is like step 2, probably the most important part. And I think a lot of the time triggers can be avoided, particularly when it manifests in relationships. Some people are more likely to trigger you. Some people are more likely to make you feel hurt, make you feel scared, and trigger that deep-rooted pain that you have within you, your fear of not being accepted, of not being loved. But ultimately, those are the things that you need to feel safe. And I think I'm really understanding this theme of safety at the moment. I think when each new relationship begins, there's always a hope that that person won't be like the last. And I think borderlines really get wrapped up in that kind of, mentality. But what happens when a safe place is no longer a safe place? What happens when a safe person is no longer a safe person? Because in my experience, it all kind of turns to shit. And there's no real way that I have found to be able to deal with that. In my experience, once something is triggered, no matter how hard you want to move on, no matter how hard you want to work through it, on a subconscious level, you just automatically react differently. And what I've really observed at the moment is once I was triggered, maybe not necessarily by anything major that anyone did, it could have been the nicest person in the world, but they made me feel uncomfortable. And suddenly, they weren't immune to making me feel uncomfortable. They weren't immune to making me feel shit. Suddenly, they were a threat. And my subconscious mind automatically went into this freak out mode. And I tried to persevere. I tried to sit with my emotions. I tried to practice all my DBT and CBT and everything that I've learned. And I just can't seem to shake it. I can't seem to get rid of this memory or this subconscious fear that I now have, that this person is now capable of inflicting pain on me. They are incapable of making me feel unsafe. And I think subconsciously I'm never going to feel safe around them again. No matter how much I want to, no matter how much I want to be like little Northy over here, just trying to comfort me and make sure everything's okay. Hey, Northy. It's like no matter how much anyone else tries to comfort me, I just can't seem to move past it. It's like my emotions are cut off. When you're terrified, when Northy gets terrified over here and he's really scared, there is nothing I can do to comfort him. There is nothing I can do to calm him down when he's in a frantic state of mind. And I feel like I'm the same. It's like there is suddenly no emotion other than fear inside me. It consumes everything. And I just really don't know what to do. Like when someone that you really care about has accidentally hit one of those landmines, that are buried deep beneath our bipolar skins, and it's blown up in your face, and you're aware enough to know that it's not them. You're aware enough to know that they didn't mean anything, and that what they triggered is probably no rational cause for concern. it's like subconsciously you've now got this wall over your heart. You now have this emotion you can't quite pinpoint within you. And you can't just bury yourself under the covers like Northie is trying to do right now. You can't just hide away because it's everywhere. And maybe you don't want to hide away, but I guess there's some part of you that does. And it's like, it's not like being away from them makes it feel any better, but like it does, because you're not caged. You're not stuck in this area where you're living like something might happen and I'm really, really scared. And I'm just like really, really worried because, you know, I met a really amazing guy who, you know, we've collabed on, I guess, his Instagram page called Dating a Borderline. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And he's great. And I don't know whether I'm just feeling really shitty at the moment, so I'm like really irritable, but it's like whenever I'm around him and whenever I'm around his house, I just feel uncomfortable. I'm irritable. And it comes across as, I guess, anger, but I don't want to be angry at him, so I keep it all in. But at the same time, it's there, and he's wanting an explanation as to why I'm acting differently, and I just don't even know the explanation why. Like, am I just in a shitty mood? Am I depressed? Is it my premenstrual dysphoric disorder? Or is it simply stemming from this borderline trigger I had, where I was there one day, I wasn't feeling that well, and you know, we were hanging out with all the housemates in the group, and I just didn't want to do that, and I was like forced to be in this situation, and it made me feel really uncomfortable. And now when I'm there, all I can do is feel uncomfortable. Then I start feeling shitty because of how uncomfortable I feel, and I shouldn't feel uncomfortable. And then I start feeling really crappy because I know that I'm making them feel bad because I can't just be like my normal self, because, you know, it's like I'm punishing them for a crime that I know that they didn't commit, but it feels like they kind of did. But I don't know what's going on. My mind's just like exploding, and being borderline sucks. And I really hope it's not like a borderline trigger thing, because in my experience, I've never been able to get over that. Like, once something is triggered, no matter how much I'm like, we're going to work on it, it's okay, we're going to get through it. It's planted this seed. And every time you even kind of near the same universe as that seed, it's just going to go boom. And every time it goes boom, it leaves a bigger and bigger gaping hole. And it's like, no matter how much you try and sew up that hole, you can't. I don't know. Like, can you? Have you guys found any help with it? Like, I wish I just had a therapist on call to be like, hey, I really need some explanation for these feelings now, because I'm super impatient and I want to know what's going on. I want answers. And I think sometimes maybe that's the burden of being as aware as I am of what's going on, because I kind of know what's going on but don't know what's going on at the same time. I know exactly what I'm feeling, and when I can't work out why I'm feeling like that, Northie has just like stolen these vitamins. It's like his favorite thing to do is get into like eating vitamins, Vitagummies. Once he ate like a whole packet of like vitamin D like capsules, and he was like shitting his pants for like a couple of days. Don't worry, I won't let him eat them, but he's just so cute. If you guys are actually looking for like a cure for borderline personality disorder, like this one. That face. Like, say hello. Say hello. Robbie. Say hello. Okay, guys. Well, I don't know. If you have like any advice, put it in the comments, or comment on my Instagram. I'd love to know your thoughts, because I'm really just like scratching my head right now. And yeah, like, you guys experience that too? I don't know. If I figure out some form of solution and I can like get my head around it, I'll make sure to post another video. So please subscribe, and I'll leave you with like just Northie for like another couple of minutes. No, you can't get into the gummies. Alright, thanks guys. They're gone. The Vitagummies are gone.